guys, I am a cupcake flavor because I'm wearing red velvet. Okay, literally nobody cares. Hey guys, it's Jennifer and welcome to my new room. I'm so excited. My room is so bright, so spacious now. If you guys couldn't already tell by the title, I'm doing a DIY room transformation video, room makeover. This is actually gonna be the first part of a 4-video series. So today I'm gonna be showing you guys me doing all the basics, like repainting my room and doing all of my furniture and layout. So I have the whole base of my room done, but in my next few videos I'm going to be doing DIY organization and also DIY room decor, so stick around to see how I decorate and organize everything. And then the last video will be my final room tour. So yeah, that's the reason why everything looks really bare and like not decorated. And my mom was literally like, your room looks like a hospital. And I'm like, actually, she's not wrong. But yeah, my room is not done yet, so that's why it looks like this. I am in the process of creating my dream room. This is where dreams happen. This is not Disneyland, but dreams are happening. If you guys want to check out some other... What am I trying to say? If you guys want to see some more footage of me like doing my room, cleaning my room, and like building furniture, you can go ahead and check out my vlog channel. It's called Jen's Life. I'll link it down below. If you like this video, make sure to like it, not just emotionally, and subscribe if you want to. Do it! Let's get started. Welcome to my tragic old room. Obviously, this is super messy and really disorganized, and I used to think that I had a big room, and then everything just kept piling and piling up until it felt super tiny. So I'm gonna show you guys how I redid my room to make it feel big again. No matter how many times I used to clean my room or organize it, it always seemed to get messy again because I just had so much stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys the layout of my new room that works for me. Step 1, planning. This step is super important, especially for small rooms. You want to know where everything is going to fit or not. So what I did to plan the layout of my room was I printed out 2 pieces of graph or grid paper, and basically I just drew out the dimensions of my room onto this graph paper, and then I also marked the spots where I couldn't put furniture, like the air vent or the door. And then I took my second piece of graph paper and I basically just measured out the dimensions of all of my furniture and graphed them out onto the graph paper. And I was really extra, so I colored them all and then also labeled them. And once you're done that, you can cut them out and then just play around with different layouts to see what works, what doesn't. If you have a smaller room like I do, try pushing your furniture to the edges so that you kind of have a big space in the middle. That just gives the illusion that you have a bigger room. And this is the final layout that I went with. Step 2. Prep for painting. So for me, obviously I'm painting my room, but if you're not, you totally don't have to do this. So what I first did was move everything to the center of the room because I couldn't take everything out of my room. This is the best way to do it if you aren't able to move your stuff outside of your room. After that, vacuum, because some of these little crevices along the edges of your wall you probably haven't seen in like years and years and years, so there's probably a lot of dust and buildup and just garbage, so vacuum that all up. Next, take down everything on your walls, because when you're painting, you don't want to accidentally paint over a bump and then there's a bump of paint on your wall. You want to wipe down anything that might have dust on it that you want to paint, like your windowsill. And then also protect your surfaces by using painter's tape on edges, and also set down newspapers to protect your floors. And when you're putting down painter's tape, make sure to press it down really well so that the paint doesn't transfer onto the object that you're supposed to be protecting. Next, I also put a tarp over my bed and everything that I wanted to protect that was in the center of my room, just so I wouldn't get paint on it. If you have any uneven surfaces on your wall, make sure to sand that down. At this point, I didn't have any sandpaper yet. I didn't buy any yet, so I had to use my nail file, but it worked. So I just sanded down any uneven surfaces. Next, if you have any holes in your wall, you can use this spackling. This is really cool because it's pink at first, but then it turns white. I just think it's the coolest thing ever. So I took a putty knife, I took some on the corner, and then I just spread it onto the holes in my wall and flattened it out. This is actually really therapeutic, really soothing, so this part was really fun. I have a bunch of holes in my wall from pinning things into my wall, so I had to fill all of those up. And after all of that prep, we can finally start painting. And I went with a super bold color, very bold, very out of my comfort zone. It's white. Literally, it's white. But I've wanted a white room for so long because I just think it looks so clean and bright. And I've had this really weird purpley blue color for so long, and it's just so dark. And I wanted a big change. And I apologize for my sister's really bad paint pouring skills. But yeah, we just painted the whole entire wall white. This was obviously the most time-consuming part, but it was actually pretty fun. It took me about a whole day to do this, and I had my whole family help out. And I was actually afraid of painting my room during winter because people usually paint during summer, but I did some research. In some ways, it's actually more beneficial to paint during winter because the humidity won't affect the drying time of the walls. Here we are painting over this little like height tracker thing that we used to have where we just like measured our heights on the wall, and that was the most like sentimental part of my wall. So I was really sad to see that go, but it had to be done. So for the corners of the wall, I'm using a paintbrush instead of a roller, of course, just to get into the little cracks and crevices. And this also allows you to be more precise on the corners so you don't get paint all over your floors or your ceilings, all that kind of stuff. So to reach the really high parts of my room, I think this is hilarious, but my dad basically just stuck a paintbrush to this really long stick using some duct tape and just painted the edges like that. But obviously it works. And right after you finish painting, you want to immediately peel off your painter's tape, just because after your paint dries, you'll most likely peel off the paint on the wall along with the painter's tape. So your best option is to peel off the tape while the paint is still wet. But if you do end up accidentally keeping it on until the paint dries, then you can actually take an X-Acto knife and kind of cut off the paint from the tape just so that you don't peel the paint off of the walls. And this is the final wall color. I really like it. It's actually a little bit blue/purpley because we only did one coat, and I'm so happy with the color. Everything looks so much brighter and I just love it. The next step is furniture. That means redoing furniture, bringing in new furniture, whatever you need to do. So for me, I had to repaint my cabinet because the condition was still good, but it just didn't match my room anymore. So I decided to paint it white and change out the knobs so it didn't give off that antique vibe, more of like a modern vibe. So what I did was I unscrewed all of the handles, and then I also protected the little hinges with some green tape, but like really that didn't really work because I ended up painting over it anyway. And then I just took some white paint. This was primer and paint, so I didn't need to prime it, but if you need to prime it, go ahead and prime it, or you can sand it down first, whatever you need to let the paint stick to your furniture. And obviously I'm just using a roller and some white paint to do all that. And this is how it turned out, all white, very nice, very nice. And then I got these new handles from Home Depot, and they're just these like slim black ones, and I just screwed them on. They're super easy to put in and they're super affordable, and so I just put them on all of my drawers. And yeah, that is what my cabinet now looks like. I think it looks a lot more modern, and it just matches my room so much more. So the next piece of furniture that I was redoing was my headboard. If you guys have been subscribed for over a year or so, you guys would have seen my DIY video on this. But basically after a year, I realized that I didn't like it so dark, especially because my room was so bright. I wanted to keep the bright theme. So I decided to sand off the wood stain with an electric sander, which I got from Home Depot for like $40. But honestly, dude, this sander freaked me out so much because it was so loud and like I didn't know how to use it. But I figured it out, and this is how the headboard turned out like. So basically I just returned it to the original wood color, which kind of meant that it was a total waste for me to like put wood stain on it in the first place. But you know what? Things changed, and I just think it fits my room so much better. Next step is to change your bedding. Now, if you already have nice bedding, this doesn't have to change. But guys, my bed situation is literally so tragic. Nothing on my bed matches. You guys have probably seen in my like morning routine videos, like my pillows never match my sheets, and my sheets never match my duvet cover, and it's just a tragic mess, okay? So I decided to go with a simple just all white, everything. To be honest, my mom was right, kind of does look like a hospital right now, but that's because I haven't, you know, decorated my bed yet, and honestly still looks a little bit tragic, but a lot less tragic than before. So these pillows, I definitely have to do something about in the future video of me decorating, but for now, this is what it looks like. Step 6 is to move all of your furniture into the place that you planned for it to be. And basically, this is my final result. Or not final, but like final for this video until I decorate it. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. It's so bright. I just love my room. It's so much more spacious. I took out one of my shelves and also that random blue chair that was in front of my shelf before. And I think for small rooms, having less furniture definitely helps make things look bigger. And also having a smaller bed will make your room look bigger. For me though, I already had this queen size bed, so I couldn't really change that. Also, when you have a smaller room, having a bright light color on your wall will really make your room look bigger and it won't like swallow up your room. And having everything white kind of makes it blend in more with the walls, so it kind of doesn't look like it's taking up room, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense. Again, check out my vlog channel to see more videos on how I did my room, footage of me building these Alex drawers from IKEA. It's all exciting stuff, so I'll link everything down below or on the eye on the top right corner. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it and hope you guys learned something new. Thank you so much for watching Shout Out of the Week right here. If you want to shout out in my next video, stay connected with me on my social media, and I will see you guys next time.